I'm Cosmic Wolf. As you may or may not know, most of you probably do because usually it's a lot of friends and people that I know who are watching this. And there are people who don't know me, probably might be watching this too, I don't know. So, but those who know me know I'm into conspiracy theories, I'm into science fiction, science fantasy, and definitely conspiracy theories and aliens and alternate realities and blah, 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 the list goes on. Now, out of them all, there are some theories that I just think are very, very foolish to believe. So let's start with this. Will be my first time talking about this stuff. So this is obviously my first video on this stuff. So I'm going to start with one of the most foolish, the Mandela effect. Now, this is specifically for one person who keeps asking me questions, and he knows who he is. I won't say his name because I'm such a nice guy, but he knows who he is. So next time you want to ask me a question about the Mandela effect, this video is so that you will watch this video and realize that I don't believe it, and you don't have to ask me a question about it because I don't care about the Mandela effect. So for those who don't know, the Mandela effect was first coined by a lady named Fiona Broome in her blog. I think it was in 2010. And she has a website called mandelaeffect.com. And before you go there, I would suggest that you do some research on it, on the Mandela effect. Do some research yourself. Hopefully you'll realize that, it's totally foolish. But if not, go to the website and enjoy. I myself don't buy it. I think it's a load of crap. I think the problem is that a lot of people, and this is essentially what it comes down to, is a bunch of people remember things differently than most people. So for some reason they believe that somehow their memories magically bind it with their parallel versions of themselves or some shit, or alternate realities or some crap like that. That's what it comes down to, is that and time travel, which I might touch on later, because that just cracks me up, the whole time travel thing. So essentially what it is that they believe that their memories merge with that of somebody from a parallel dimension. So they're remembering things from a parallel dimension and not reality. I believe in parallel dimensions. I do. I've studied stuff on my own. I've read about various things, including alternate realities, alternate dimensions, and all that fun stuff. So now what it is named after is Nelson Mandela, of course, because Nelson Mandela died sometime after 2000 or something like that there. And I know it was more recently than the 80s. This is where it actually comes from, is these people remembering Fiona herself, remembering that Nelson Mandela died in the 80s. Sorry, but he didn't. He was thrown in jail, hence the whole Free Mandela movement, the Free Mandela songs in the TV shows, even in the movies. It was done in the movies too. So, I mean, I think that what's going on is that maybe you watched a movie where Mandela died, and I know there's plenty of movies with Mandela, and I'm sure that there's one from the 80s. I seem to recall one from the 80s where Mandela died, and even his widow gave a speech in the movie and all this stuff here. And that's probably what's going on, is memories are merging together from what you watched on TV and what happened in real life. Nothing wrong with that. It happens to everybody. It happened to me. And it wasn't even a movie I watched. Well, it was a movie I watched, but it was with a book I read. So, and because the book I read was based on the screenplay, so everything was almost exact, except for in one part, it was Batman with Michael Keaton. And there's one part in the book where he takes a policeman's horse and he chases a bad guy. So when I watch the movie, I expect that scene. Almost every time I watch the movie, I expect to see that scene. But then when I'm watching it, I end up remembering that, wait a minute, I read that in the book. Same as the Joker, when he says, where does he get those wonderful toys? I recall him going, don't just stand there, go ask him. I'm pretty sure, though, that might have been in the book or in the comic book, because I read those too. Like, I read the comics as well as the novel. So memories aren't perfect. My memory is not perfect. But when it comes to certain things, I never question my memory, such as the Star Wars movies. Because the Mandela effect, there's a list of different things that are supposed to be from the Mandela effect. And some of them are from the Star Wars movies. But some of the dumber ones, very foolish ones, okay? Oscar Mayer wieners. Is Oscar Mayer spelled right? Is it spelled with an A or is it spelled with an E? How about Pikachu's tail? Does he have a black stripe on it? Does he not have a black stripe on it? How about Fruit Loops? Was on the box, did it spell F-R-U-I-T or was it F-R-O-O-T with the O's being the actual Fruit Loops themselves, which it was the Fruit Loops with the O's. So that's just like a touch of this Mandela effect stuff and what people are questioning. And there's like 2 or 3 from the Star Wars movies. And one of my most favorites is The Empire Strikes Back from 1980. James Earl Jones in an interview said that he remembers the screenplay saying, "Luke, I am your father." And I don't question James Earl Jones's memory on it, because that recording is actually from, I think, the 80s or 90s, so it was fairly recent to the movie. But what I do question is what was actually said in the recording studio. Yeah, the script may have said, "Luke, I am your father." However, in the movie he said, "No, I am your father." And I believe it was Harrison Ford who also told George Lucas that you can write it on paper, but saying the words is a different thing, right? And everybody who's watched the prequels and complains about the prequels knows that. Stuff that was written shouldn't have been said. Same as this, okay? Here's why. The whole scene is about Darth Vader finding out what Luke knew about his father. But Kenobi never told you what happened to your father, did he? He told me enough. He told me you killed him. No, I am your father. See, it is a correction. So he's correcting him. Now, if you're correcting somebody, you're not going to go, "So they never told you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he told me you killed Luke, I am your father." You're going to correct him. You're going to say no. In other words, you're wrong. No. If anything, he would say, "No, Luke, I am your father." But he didn't. He just said, "No, I am your father." Somewhere, probably during recording, it was said. And James Earl Jones even says the words himself, obviously, because they're in the movie. But, he may have just remembered what was written on the script. Because he's going to remember what was written on the script, because that's what he memorized. But in the studio while recording, maybe during the whole scene when Luke and David Prowse was in the costume and everything, and they were making the scene, maybe he said, "This makes no sense." He's correcting them. Why would he say, "Luke, I'm your father"? He's not making a statement. He's making a correction. So he would say, "No, I'm your father." But there are plenty of other Mandela effect stuff. And like I said, it comes from the belief of dimensions merging together and people's memories merging with them and our times being altered. And so let's get into that for a minute. First of all, if the way it works with the alternate realities is that you're on one frequency, they're on another. So you're at FM 109. They're at FM 89. So you have to tune to that frequency in order for your memories to merge. Now, first of all, even if you were standing apart, okay, and the vibrations were perfect and you both were staring at each other, right? You're not going to know what he's thinking. He's not you. You're you. They're somebody else. They're an alternate version of you. Shit, it could be a man and a woman, could be a woman and a woman, could be a woman and a man, could be a man and a child, could be a woman and a child, could be 2 children. You don't know. Hell, it could be a cat. Maybe your alternate version is a cat in a different reality. But it wouldn't matter, because you don't know what they're thinking. You're you, they're them. Right? So without the power of telepathy or being able to read their mind, there's no way in hell you're going to know their memories. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. There's no way you're going to do it unless you have the power to read minds. I don't think you do. And even if you did, their body is still going to be on a different frequency, even though their reality is now in this frequency. Their body's still going to be different. It may be at a tune with yours, so you still might not be able to detect what they're thinking, even if you can read their minds. And even if by some chance, like what's in the theater now, Doctor Strange, who's bends reality and stuff, and or hell, take Harry Potter or fucking Gandalf, whoever you want, whatever wizard you want, and if they take that memory, put it in your head, you're still not going to know what it is because it's out of tune with yours. It's not in the same frequency range. So what's going to happen is you're going to end up with a head full of TV snow or radio static. You're not even going to know what that memory is, okay? That's just the way the science of it works. Now, if you were to merge together, you would die. Your brains merge together, you would die. So it's just not going to work. The Earth, if the two Earths merge together, we would all fucking die because two molecules cannot occupy the same space and time. Just try to stand in the exact same spot with your buddy, or with your friend, or with your family member. It's not going to happen. You can stand on their shoulders, but you're not in the exact same spot. You're above them. You can't do it. Otherwise, you would die. Well, maybe you would live for a little while, but it'd be in probably pain and agony because your body would be fused with theirs and you'd be like, whoa, right? Who knows? Because it hasn't happened yet that we know of. I mean, it's possible it could happen, but you're not going to share memories. Sorry, it just doesn't work that way. Same as time travel. That's another theory. Because the Mandela effect, they don't know exactly how, but there's a bunch of different theories. And one of them is time travel. So, time travel would be somebody going back in time and changing time and them remembering it, nobody else remembering it. Sorry, you're special, but you're not that fucking special. If somebody changes time, everybody's going to remember the same history. Science tells you that. That's how it works. If somebody changes something in the past before you're fucking born, you're not going to have any fucking memory of anything changing, right? And even if they changed it while you're still alive, you're not going to have any memory because you're not going to be you from before that. You're going to be on a different fucking reality. So it doesn't work that way. I mean, time travel would be fucking awesome. There's no question about it. Perhaps it exists. Perhaps it doesn't. There's a couple of different things about that I could talk about, but I won't right now. But, because I'm talking about the Mandela effect. But regardless of what it is, it's called faulty memory. It happens when we get older. Memories merge. You create new memories. Older memories get pushed to the back, especially unimportant memories. There are some memories that you will always know that are real and that actually took place because they're so big. Nelson Mandela's death would not be that. It would be big if it had happened in the 80s. If it happened in the 80s, everybody would have the same fucking memory of it because it would have been such a big fucking deal. Just like 9/11. Everybody knows where they were when they first heard about 9/11. I remember where I was. I was in an elevator in St. Joseph's Hospital in St. John, New Brunswick. And it was early morning because I was almost finished work. And I heard them talking about it. The ladies mentioned it. Because it was after the first plane. So, I mean, there's things that you will always remember because they're such huge, huge, huge events. They're not things that would make you go, didn't he die in the 80s? It would be, he died in the 80s. I know he did because blah, blah, blah. Right? But even then, because it's not fact, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. He didn't die in the fucking 80s. He was in prison in the 80s. That's when he was thrown in jail. The whole free Mandela. So, I don't know. I just know that for me, this is a load of crap. I don't buy it for a fucking minute. There are a couple other theories I will eventually talk about, but putting this on video has taken some time, so this is like several shoots later. But like I said, this is just my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. And as far as I'm concerned, though, this is a load of crap. I mean, if you believe in it, fine. I'm happy for you. But please don't ask me to give my opinion. That's what this whole video is for. Especially for my buddy who keeps asking me about it. Just rewatch this. Every time you feel like you want to ask me about the Mandela effect, just pop in this video and watch it, and you will know. Don't ask me. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed it, subscribe. If not, don't subscribe. It's up to you. Have a good life. Take care.